Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwawo. On the program today, Volkswagen opens Rwanda's first car plant. Sudan and South Sudan agree deal to increase oil output. Plus, Vodafone to list Ghana unit on local stock market after debt restructuring. Let's get the show started now with the markets. And today's trading on the African continent is not looking too good for some of the markets, as most of the major markets were in the red at intraday. Now, the NSE All Share Index was down 0.12% at midday. South African JSE Index was down 0.96%. Egypt traded low at 0.24%. However, Kenya closed in the green on Tuesday. And in the Middle East, the markets traded mixed at intraday, with markets in the UAE faltering. Abu Dhabi was down 0.46%. Dubai dropped by 0.74%. However, Qatar traded in the green, up 0.38%. Saudi was also up by 0.07%. And in Europe, markets were lower in early trade after the U.S. moved to pressure allies to stop buying Iranian crude. And for all the developments in the European market, here is my colleague in Frankfurt, Daniel Kuv. Hello, Daniel. Good afternoon. Another beautiful day to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes, indeed, a beautiful day. I hope for you guys over there in Nigeria as well. I can tell you I was really cheering for your team yesterday, and I hope your thoughts will be with Germany today as well. We are playing at 4 p.m. German local time. I will be here stuck at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange and won't be able to watch.
Well, it was a very sad one, but who knows? You win some, you lose some, but we will be there for you today, Daniel. Anyway, let's start with the latest on VW. The automaker is opening a car plant in Rwanda today. How is Africa expansion one of VW's growth strategies after the emission scandal?
Yeah, this is a very interesting news, I can tell you, Chimi. And though it was really interesting throughout the day, most of the time, I guess you can see it here also in the background. We'll be talking about that later. We really started with the red numbers here. But even though car shares are very much under pressure, Volkswagen was one of the car shares that was actually in the green. And I was having a conversation with an analyst about that, also talking about this new Rwanda operation there. And he was telling me that this was probably actually one of the reasons why the Volkswagen shares didn't do as bad as some of the others today. Well, for Volkswagen, it's very important. The export business is very, very important for the company. In general, the entire auto industry here in Germany really also relies a lot on export. Just when you take a look at the last year, for example, more than 4 million cars were exported. Of course, right now, still for Volkswagen, the biggest markets are here in Europe, Brazil, also United States and China. But yes, also Africa is getting more and more interesting there for the company. I was reading about that, and actually what I'm learning is that Volkswagen is even thinking about producing cars that even maybe meet more the requirements that you guys have over there in Africa. So yeah, I can tell you that investors here and analysts, they are monitoring this, they're excited about this, and they see a very big potential for Volkswagen in Africa.
Yeah, let's talk about your market there. You did mention the DAX, and I can see the zigzag movement there, not doing very good. It opened quite low with 30 shares in the red at open. Now, why are investors so worried?
Well, the trade war is certainly the biggest topic here. And I was talking also about that with an investor, and he told me that he's actually surprised that this is really taking that long. Nobody really thought this would be taking that long. Yes, we really started with very bad numbers here. Even, yesterday we closed with losing more than 300 points, even dropped earlier in the morning once again. Now it has recovered, though, a little bit. There is a plus right now of about 100 points. This is also happening because we are getting the indication also from the Dow futures in the United States that the trading day there most likely is not going to be as bad as some were predicting already earlier. This is happening because we are getting word that the Trump administration might not be that strict now with China about, we were talking about that earlier, about technologies and about companies that want to do investments there. But yes, the trade war is certainly a big topic. We are hearing, this is going to be very interesting, that Jean-Claude Juncker, he's the head of the European Commission, that he might be heading over to the United States already in the next day, talking there to the US administration. Certainly also with Mr. Trump, tariffs is certainly going to be the #1 topic. So yeah, let's see how all of this is going to unfold. I'm hearing that because of the game today after 4 p.m., it might get very quiet here. Let's see, maybe I'm going to be the only one here standing and reporting.
All right, Daniel, while you wait to watch your game there, it's a big one as well for Uber. The ride-hailing app has won a court battle to regain its right to operate in the British capital, London. However, it only received a 15-month probationary license. Now, will this ruling be a lifesaver for Uber that faces pressure not only in the UK, but other markets where they operate?
Well, that's, I guess, a little bit too early to say, but we really have to say that after we have seen this leadership change happening at Uber, that lots of things inside of the company have changed. We remember that the CEO, the former CEO, he was known for having a very tough and even cold climate there inside of the company. That was one of the reasons why he was then exchanged. Now, Uber had to do quite some homework in the United Kingdom to get this license again. For example, they have to enforce now a 24-hour hotline where you actually reach a human being and not a machine to talk to. This was, for example, not earlier the case. I'm hearing, though, that in the United Kingdom and mostly in London, people there are relieved because Uber there is really, for many already, part of getting to work or getting home after works. Words like "let's Uber," I mean, is for some already daily vocabulary right now. But yeah, mostly in Europe, Uber is still going to have a very hard time. Here, for example, in the German market, Uber is completely forbidden. This is because we have very, very strong taxi unions here in Germany, which in my opinion is completely unfair because taxis here in Germany are way too expensive. Just to give you an example, from here, for example, from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange to Frankfurt's International Airport, that's probably just a 20 to 25-minute ride. With traffic, a taxi could cost up to 50 euros, which is completely ridiculous. So many are actually saying that a good competition with Uber here would be actually healthy for the market. But still, as I said, those taxi unions in many European countries, also over there in Spain, are too strong. So that's why Uber will still have a very hard time to enter other European markets.
All right, let's see how that court ruling plays out in the future. Thank you very much for your time, Daniel, and good luck to Germany in today's match.